Hello, my dears. Here we are back at lesson number 17. All right, I want to remind you that we're building a foundation here. Don't try to, at this moment, make sense of everything. This would be like if you're building a puzzle and you dump out those 1,000 pieces, and you might see what the picture looks like on the cover, but now here are these 1,000 pieces that you have to somehow put together to replicate the picture on the cover. And what a lot of people do is they look for the corners first, because the 90-degree angles on the corner pieces are a little bit easier to see. So if you put the corner pieces in, then you begin to fill in. So you might say these lessons are trying to put the pieces together for us. Now, if you pick up just one random piece and you have no idea where it goes, and whatever is on it is incomprehensible because you don't see it in the totality of the picture. So in many ways, these lessons are the same way. You're just getting a little piece of the puzzle, and it's hard to comprehend what this one little piece is when it's not in context. But you can trust that every time you practice one of these lessons, you're putting a piece of that puzzle together, and at some point you'll think, how in the world could I ever not understand this, because it's so obvious. But it's not obvious when you're at the beginning. So remember, this is about practice and not understanding. The understanding will be given you, just as when you finally fill in enough of the puzzle pieces, you go, oh, I get it. Over here in this corner is a basket of flowers. Well, I would never have known from picking up this one little puzzle piece. So this one is an obvious follow-on to the one before that says, I see no neutral things. The obvious reason I see no neutral things is because, as we talked about yesterday, I don't have any neutral thoughts. It also, all the way through up to this point, is tying together forms or things and thoughts. Forms and thoughts. Forms and thoughts. It wants you to get it, that they are a seamless whole. They go together. You can't have one without the other, so that you can become more mindful of your thinking, knowing beyond the shadow of a doubt it will show up as some element of our so-called outer life. So once again, it only asks for 3 or 4 practice periods, a minute or so. And our sentence for the day is, I do not see a neutral tree, because my thoughts about trees are not neutral. In other words, those thoughts that I may have about trees don't go nowhere. I have lots of trees around my house, and I adore them. I think about trees a lot. And then it also says, I do not see a neutral toothbrush, because my thoughts about toothbrushes are not neutral. And as always, it says, do not make the mistake of thinking there is some difference between your thinking about an animate or an inanimate object. That doesn't mean that a thought about a toothbrush is less effective than a thought about trees. So it has nothing to do with large or small, animate, inanimate, beautiful, ugly. Whatever it is you think about, that is irrelevant. It all still has an effect. And then it makes a huge statement that whatever you may believe about this, you don't see anything that's really alive or really joyous. Like, we don't? And it says, no, you don't, because you were not yet aware of a thought that's really true and therefore really happy. Now remember, don't try to understand what that means. Just practice keeping in mind, the things I see aren't just neutral, and they're not just there for no reason. Whatever it is I'm seeing, I have put there to see. All right, have a wonderful day.